Of course. No, no, I have been talking into my non-thing. Thank you for joining me. Always check your mic. I am a genius. Uh, as as per usual, this is a duct tape, prayer, and holy water production, so at least the production value is always stable and we are all used to it, so that's good. So, thank you this way up. I was just thanking you for reminding people to, switch from top chat to live chat because I always forget that. Well, yes, it is better than your headset being broken. Our first story of the night has to be the most epic thing. Unfortunately, we don't have the music playing, which is actually fairly good because I would have gotten a copyright strike, but we will go right into the stories because this one is epic.
A New Jersey man is facing several charges after crashing his car into a police station, all while blasting the Guns N' Roses song Welcome to the Jungle.
While it was all caught on camera, the song was not. Police say the man
Sadly.
intentionally drove his car into the building. The suspect now
Score.
faces charges including terrorism, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. Authorities say he previously crashed his car into the garage of another home before slamming his car into the police station.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC.
So, this guy could have had a better day unless this was his goal. I mean, everyone has goals. Maybe blasting Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle while crashing into a police station was his life bucket list goal. And if so, sir, we salute you on he is asleep. My goal this afternoon was to wear him out. We have a couple of really nice days coming up and then some cruddy rainy days where I know I will be kind of less active. So I am trying to get him puppy played out for a little bit while we have some good days. So he is dead asleep. Good evening, Carlene. And he kind of wore me out too. Uh we've got retrieve the ball. We don't quite have drop ball back and don't have human chase you around to get the ball, which seems to be the funniest part of ball for him. Play with the ball. Like, "Oh, human will run after me if I don't give ball back. This is hilarious." So that seems to be his biggest thing as far as that. So stop screen. Our next story is actually a pretty big story. Uh, Gypsy Rose Blanchard will be set free fairly soon. Now, if you are part of the true crime community, a lot of people have heard of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She was actually a child victim of someone who had a mother that was actually accused of Munchausen's by proxy. So I will read a little bit of this article for you, except for the name of this freaking city. What the heck? Of course. A woman who pled guilty to murdering her mother after alleging years of abuse in the case that inspired TV series and movies. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, 32, pled guilty in 2016 to murdering her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, and was sentenced to 10 years in prison, according to court records. Yeah, we're working on oh, for the love of Cheetos, why is this not working right now? Yes. We are working on repetition and, you know, good boy, drop the ball, but it's a slow process. Thank you, reindeer, for some of these stories. I have a meeting after this, and I'm like, "Wait, a meeting after 8 p.m.? I don't that's unlegal, right?" Yeah, I know it feels weird that it's already been 8 years. In response to an inquiry from Court TV, the Missouri Department of Corrections confirmed that Blanchard is scheduled to be paroled December 28th, 2023. At that date, she will have served 8.5 years in prison since her arrest in 2015 after her mother's murder. Prosecutors said Blanchard conspired with her boyfriend, Nicholas Gojan, to stab her mother to death. At his trial, Blanchard testified that she had asked Gojan to come from his home in Wisconsin to Missouri to murder her mother because she saw no other way out, KSDK reported. Blanchard spent most of her life hospitalized and in a wheelchair after being victimized by what was then called Munchausen by proxy, but has since been renamed factitious disorder, according to Cleveland Clinic. In a story dramatized in movies like HBO's Mommy Dead and Dearest and TV series like Hulu's The Act, Blanchard said she was treated for a number of conditions, including epilepsy, muscular dystrophy, leukemia, and was made to act like she had the brain development of a child. Gojan was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, KMBC reported. So I'm glad that she's going to get out. I do feel like maybe, I don't know, now that he's also got life, though, it kind of feels a little unfair that she's gonna get out and he's not going to. I understand there's differences in that she was actually a victim of this long-going medical abuse from her mother, and he was fully functional in theory, but it's still I think he also had mental issues, and I think maybe he had a lot of mitigating issues, if I remember the case correctly, and it has been so long, I don't remember, but I feel like if she got a fairly light sentence, I'll have to go back and look at the fact pattern, but it seems a little bit unfair that she gets "Hello, Kim," and Ghostery, and Lefty, and Woke Wesley, and This Way Up, and I finally turned on my microphone. It's gonna be alright today. But she is going to be getting out this Christmas, and I really hope that she's had at least some therapy in prison and something to help her get through all of the stuff that her mother put her through, and then she's got a useful skill or something to help her acclimatize to the outside world, because I have only vaguely touched the outsides of this case. I know phrasing, but, I can only imagine having been told all your life that you have all these conditions and all of these things, to have that not be the truth, and then to have to try to navigate this world again after being in prison for so many years, and then basically her entire life has been stolen from her for so many years. Hopefully, hopefully there are systems in place to help her come back into the world and do it correctly and be a functioning part of society. I don't know. I hope so. In our other news, let's see what is next. Uh, what are you gonna do when nerds get together? Well, orgies. As per always, orgies and role-playing board games and orgies. Apparently, FTX had sex orgies, role-playing board games. Ex-employees respond to wild claims at the doomed crypto digs. Don't give nerds money. Isn't it funny that we always go to the fact that we might be having a stroke instead of uh, one of the hosts is having a boomer moment? But yeah, don't give nerds money. We simply will just do terrible, terrible things with it. Or if you're Mo, I'll go to Japan and spend all of it on Tokidoki stuff and Sailor Moon stuff, and Mr. Mo will just be sad because look, he's already having to remodel rooms. I'll be making him have my own panic Sailor Moon room. It really will be sad. Gossip that top executives at the bankrupt crypto giant FTX were enmeshed in a sex-fueled polycule is exaggerated at best, according to a former employee who claims instead they spent their free time on nerdy pursuits like board games, hackathons, and role-playing sessions. Well, damn it. Rumors of a polyamorous clique of crypto nerds at FTX have run rampant since last fall, particularly focused on Sam Bankman-Fried, the 31-year-old kingpin whose epic fraud trial is slated to begin Monday in Manhattan federal court, and his girlfriend, Carolyn Ellison, who the 28-year-old former boss of FTX hedge fund Alameda Research, who is expected to testify against him. Ellison, the bespectacled, Stanford-educated, self-professed Harry Potter fanatic, helped fuel the speculation by posting sentiments about polyamory online, declaring in a blog post that the only acceptable style of poly was an imperial Chinese harem. Okay. I'm glad that she's taken time to think about this. I wouldn't want her to jump into anything and not have rationalized it. I want her to have really put some thought into it. So as long as she's some thought and realized that the Japanese harem is the only way to go, I feel more comfort. Where participants kept a ranking of their partner and vigorous power struggles for higher rankings. Oh my God. What in the hell board games were they playing? This doesn't sound like Cards Against Humanity. This sounds like, gosh, Risk. This sounds like Strip Risk. I don't even understand what. I don't even want to know what kind of board games. Nevertheless, Aditya Bhattacharya, a former software engineer at FTX's sister firm, Alameda Research, who reported directly to Ellison, threw cold water on the hot and heavy gossip. That includes a November report that claimed Ellison and Bankman-Fried were part of a cabal of roommates in a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas who were all or used to be paired up in a romantic relationships with each other. Well, that's a thinker. Oh my. Yep, that's a face of those are polycules right there. Those are 2 polys and a cule there. If there were orgies, I lived right next door, he said to the Post. I would have heard it from my balcony. Well, maybe they were quiet polycules. They were just very small and very quiet. I I don't even well, there you go. Um, uh, look, I am not gonna butcher this man's name. I'm gonna guess Brajawai? Look, sir, whoever you are, B added, quote, "If you gave them some alcohol and left them alone in a room, they would end up playing board games. I'm very confident there was no polycule." Don't kill the dream. It's a very uncomfortable and odd-looking dream, but, um, it's still a dream. Look, even nerds can find love, and with a lot of money, apparently, weird board game orgies and Chinese imperial harems. Bankman-Fried's love life will be picked apart during the ex-billionaire's federal fraud trial. Bankman-Fried was jailed last month after leaking Ellison's personal writings to the press, including diary entries in which he fretted the pair were making things, quote, making things weird and causing drama in the office. B, however, said the couple, despite Bankman-Fried revealing he felt, quote, claustrophobic towards the end, according to the court documents, caused no awkwardness or drama in the office despite their frequent breakups. Oh, for the love of Cheetos. Quote, it was known that they had a thing, but if you didn't know that information through gossip, you wouldn't see that. There was no PDA. There were no lovers' quarrels, at least not in public. It was never something that spilled over into work. According to B, the 5 couples that lived in the $40 million penthouse known as the Orchid, including Bankman-Fried and Ellison, who shared a room when their relationship was intact. The others who lived there with their girlfriend were FTX engineering chief Nasheed Singh and FTX chief engineering Chief Technology Officer Gary Wang. Like Ellison, Singh and Wegg have pled guilty to fraud charges and are set to testify during Bankman-Fried's trial. The penthouse at Albany Complex served as a company social space, according to B. Employees had the access code and could freely enter, which would have made it difficult for FTX's leaders to conceal a polycule from staff. I don't know. I just want to keep saying the word polycule. Quote, it's possible that Carolyn was polyamorous in the past and maybe even then, be added, but if she was, it wasn't a big polycule thing. Holy God. Instead of wild orgies, Baldrawal said Ellison liked to stage live action role playing games, also known as LARPs, a kind of improv performance where participants are assigned roles and act them out. Why does it sound even worse when you explain what a LARP is? Yikes. On one occasion, Ellison created a LARP that Brodwell described as revisionist history reenactment of the founding of Baha Mar Resort in the Bahama. The employees impersonated historical figures who lived in the Bahamas, including Ernest Hemingway and Bahamian journalist Etienne Dupage. What the? Oh, wonderful! That is great. I am so glad. Uh, why? Why were you like, that sounds awful. Look, oh, okay. Well, I mean, no, that sounds wonderful that Charlotte Sienna was found alive. I'm talking about the employees impersonating historical figures that live in Bahamas. That just sounds terribly boring. I would much rather do the Bring Sally Up squat song. Quote, we had hackathons at the Orchid. We had social events and dinners at the Orchid. Caroline's LARP was there. We also knew all of these people. I know for a fact that these folks were not having orgies. Maybe he just wasn't invited. He's all salty. I mean, I'm just saying. Bankman-Fried, meanwhile, was a video game fanatic who has a well-known habit of playing League of Legends in the middle of meetings. Oh my, how did these people get money? Who gave these people money? Who saw this and came in the middle of them LARPing as Bahamian figures and thought, you know what? I'm giving them billions of dollars. These idiots look like they need money. I mean, also, how do I'm an idiot. I need money. I could lose money for you, big giant companies. I too also am not polyamorous and don't have orgies. I'm also B, who previously told the Post that he left Bankman-Fried was definitely guilty of federal who felt Bankman-Fried was definitely guilty of federal charges, blamed the polyamory rumors on what he described as a game of telephone between different arms of the media. His account matches that of Dr. George K. Klenner, a psychiatrist who reportedly served as an advisor to FTX and a therapist to some of the company's employees. Last December, Leonard rejected the notion that Bankman-Fried, Ellison, and other FTX leaders were part of a polycule and described the company's higher-ups as undersexed, if anything. Oh, yeah, I know. I know the parents are corrupt too, but I'm just saying I'm a weird nerd that also is socially inept. I'm just saying I could be given money and squander it too. Give I hope you're feeling better, Jonathan. Media scrutiny over whether the FTX executives were polyamorous irritated Bankman-Fried, who grumbled about the situation last November. Quote, "We as a society have, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, have spent enough time in the last week trying to figure out whether anyone living in Albany was polyamorous. Sir, you done squandered and screwed up about a bajillion and 12 people's $1,000,000, okay? I think you can get the hell off your high horse and stop talking about, like, how you're the better man, all right? I'm just throwing out there that maybe you shouldn't be taking the moral high ground on anything." Okay. He said during a call with influencer Tiffany Fong, quote, "I feel like I've answered that question a lot, and the answer is too boring for people to, like, believe." Ellison has already pled guilty to fraud charges and expected to be a key witness for the feds who allege that Bankman-Fried stole billions in FTX customer funds, some of which was used to prop up risky bets at Alameda. Yeah, so this dude is over here like, "I wish you would stop talking about, like, what I could or could not have done with my girlfriend. It's tawdry." Meanwhile, he's just stealing a bunch of people's money, you know? Get off your high horse, sir. It's not a good look. In other, entitled news, do we need special hallways? One influencer thinks so. Um, won't you think of the fluffies? Now, as a person who is, retaining some Mike and Ikes,
These are the exact steps that hotels can take to do.
I want to not bash my fellow fluffy people, but, I think this is a bridge too far or a hallway too wide. Plus size influencer who petitioned for free extra plane seat now calls on hotels to enlarge hallways. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out this radical idea that, if the world around you just doesn't seem to fit you, a and ma'am, I say this as a fellow Mike and Ike's retainer, um, there are small steps that we ourselves can take if we don't fit into things instead of having, contractors come out to widen the hallways. It's just a thought. I mean, I know that construction people would love the work, but I am throwing out this tiny idea of self-improvement rather than construction improvement, but let's continue. Or let's hear it from the person's mouth. This isn't on, Brave, so you should be able to hear it from her saying it. So let's see if we'll get the closed caption, and she will give you the exact steps, which is a bit ironic, because steps seems to be the one things that I'm not gonna commit fluffy on fluffy crime, but I believe we know the slow pitch joke that I could make.
These are the exact steps that hotels can take to be more size inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Make elevators and hallways spacious to allow for easy movement of larger individuals and those utilizing mobility devices.
Okay. Yeah, so that's just or again, or just a little self-control with this. And I say this as a person who has always struggled with my size. I don't understand this onus of taking it off of myself. I would never go up to anyone and say, "Hey, you know, I am having a problem with my self-control, but I'm gonna make it your fault because yeah, look, I don't get it, but let's read because maybe she'll make sense. Maybe that video was taken out of context. A plus-size influencer who previously demanded airlines comp larger passengers for extra seat now asks hotels around the world to make a number of changes to better accommodate overweight guests by or including making hallways wider. In a video posted to her TikTok last month, Jaylyn Cheney listed several ways hotels can create size-inclusive amenities. She said she's on a mission to revolutionize the travel industry and make it more accessible and accepting an accommodating place for all. Adding, the needs of plus-size travelers matter just as much as anyone else. Quote, we deserve an environment that respects our needs and body diversity. Thor, get off of the computer. I swear to goodness, I've got a cat. The reason the camera is moving is Thor is trying to gently nudge my monitor for some reason. Thorbert, I cannot with you right now. You are all acting like crazy people today. Is it a full moon? Among her many demands were to make elevators and hallways more spacious to allow for easy movements of larger individuals and utilizing mobility devices. Cheney also suggested hotels raise their toilet seats and retrofit each room with handheld shower heads so bigger bodied people can more easily wash themselves. Ma'am, there are so many things. Look, it's, you know, fluffy people have always traveled. They've always made it work. I'm sure we will always continue to make it work. So let's continue. More things. Hotels should provide size-inclusive bathrooms, she said. These should go up to size 6X and beyond. 6X and beyond? 6X and beyond? Additionally, Cheney says hotels should put in rails in pools and invest in sturdier, wider chairs for the lounge and poolside so larger-bodied people can relax in peace. She said hotels need to train staff to be respectful, understanding, and accommodating of travelers of all size. In the caption, Cheney wrote, creating space where guests feel valued and comfortable is essential. Handrails. Sorry. Size-inclusive hotel amenities are more than just accommodations. They're a statement of respect for diverse needs and body types. From more spacious, you understand how much this is going to cost, ma'am. I mean, I need you to really think about this. If you want all of these things, I hope you're willing to spend like $500 a night at a place. Cheney's demands were met with mixed reviews online. Quote, I agree this is ideal, but for some of us, some of these things are outside of the hotel's control. Lift size, for example, one person wrote using the British term for an elevator. Another TikToker, though, commented, I'm backing you 100%. Other were harsher in their views of Cheney's demands, with one woman asking, how are you going to ask for things to change but refuse to change yourself? You know? I'm sorry, Shenanigram. I totally feel you. I totally feel you. Well, another suggested it would be cheaper to diet. Friberto, I swear all of you are. One second. You two are just riling each other up. Thor. It would be cheaper to diet. And then another quote said, I am fat. I will let no airline or hotel pay for my eating habits, she wrote, while a male user said that Cheney was entitled for making these demands. Quote, imagine feeling so entitled to demand an entire industry accommodate your inability to put down the fork, he wrote, calling it wild. Cheney labels herself a plus-size travel fashion lifestyle creator and has more than 134,000 followers on TikTok. Well, there you go. Well, Friberto is right here. He and Thor are finding their friendship, but their friendship seems to be just them antagonizing each other. Which, as brothers, as boys, I think that's kind of just all they do with each other. Now, in our next story, are you going to help? Are you going to be a butt? It's not hell, it's just Halloween, y'all. Firefighters are called to a house ablaze, but it was just amazing Halloween decor. Stop, I don't want. What did you do now? No, I don't want to. Does anyone want to rent a deal? Why are you such a pain in my butt? There is no higher praise for a Halloween decor enthusiast. The Glen Falls Fire Department was called to a house for a, quote, confirmed structural fire in the upstate city on Saturday, and the firefighters were shocked to see no fire, but rather a premature yet amazing Halloween display. Let's see. Okay, I can't get the video to work because they want to just sell me rental equipment, but this, yes, he is getting big. But this is awesome. I wish I could do this in my HOA, but they would shit kittens. I mean, they would have a bad, bad day. We have so many Miss Kravises in our neighborhood. I wouldn't even get halfway there. Okay, you're going to go lay down. Stop fighting with your brother. Video provided by the homeowner to the fire department showed the extravagant setup, which made the house look like a potential crime scene. The decor makes it appear as though the house is really on fire, with faux flames lighting up and seeming to engulf the interior through the windows. To our surprise, this was an amazing Halloween decoration, the fire department said. This display will be up Friday and Saturday nights for the public's entertainment until the end of October. I will be right back. I'm going to let them out. For the love of If it's not the children, it's the cat and the puppy. They added the spectacle was a result of 2 LED lights, a box fan, and a silver sheet and a fog machine. I have no idea. Sounds good. A majority of Facebook commenters, the fire department included, applauded the homeowners for their creativity. Quote, "Our neighbors are so creative. Way to go, Matt and John. It's so realistic," the apparent neighbors wrote. And the fire department's official Facebook page responded, "They're both amazing. Thank them again. We really like these calls." Quote, "That's really impressively surreal. Going to be getting a lot of calls for this one," someone exclaimed. "That's really insane how realistic it looks. Crazy." However, one person said, quote, "Might be a good idea to notify the fire department you're going to do this so they know if they get a call for it." Well, I mean, yeah, if you want to be all logical and junk, but I mean, no, it's cool. Someone always has to be a killjoy. You just cannot have someone you can't have nice things, and someone's always going to be mean and just say, well, someone should have just, let the authorities know. There's always going to be a Helen Lovejoy out there, just always. And to top it all off, we have killer chocolate. It wasn't fate. It was the chocolate. In the weirdest story I've read, haven't read, woman killed by chocolate from a palm reader who said she was going to die soon. Now, I don't know if the palm reader was psychic or the chocolate was poisoned, but either way, you've got to say she has a business idea. I mean, you don't get repeat customers, but you do get, You're very good on your predictions. Bump. Investigators are baffled over the case of a woman who died after eating chocolate she got from a palm reader who said she didn't have long to live. Now, I mean, call me crazy, but if I'm going to go to a palm reader and they say, "Hey, you don't have long to live," I don't know that I'm taking candy from that person too. Seems like just I don't know. Seems like a terrible idea. If like, "You know what? Seems like you're gonna get candy from a stranger and then not live soon." I'm gonna say hard pass, ma'am. Quote, "She vomited, her vision was a bit blurred, her body was soft, it was a matter of hours." The victim's bereaved cousin, Bianca Cristina, told Global One of her untimely passing. The tragedy occurred on August 3rd while Fernanda Silvia Velosa de Cruz Pinto, only 17 names, thank you, 27, was walking through the city center of Brazil, somewhere in Brazil, a mecca for fortune tellers, Jam Press reported. The mother of one was reportedly stopped by an elderly woman who asked to read her palm. Pinto accepted, whereupon the street seer told the young woman she only had a few days to live. You know, generally, I thought you were supposed to say good things if you're like a cold reader on the street. I generally thought you were supposed to say, like, "Oh, you have a really long lifeline," not like, "Sucks to be you. I guess you're gonna die soon." The soothsayer then gave Pinto a piece of chocolate as a parting gift. As the candy was packaged, it didn't occur to her it could pose any danger, cousin Christina told local media, and as she was hungry, she decided to eat it. Hours after eating it, Pinto started to feel seriously ill, experiencing symptoms ranging from vomiting, dizzy, to blurry vision. She reportedly described her condition in text messages sent to her family shortly after consuming the sweet. Hey, we've all been there, Dave. We'll get you through this. Um, Look, I want to warn you not to watch Beaches or Terms of Endearment unless you really wanna cry. Now, if you do wanna cry, go ahead and watch those movies, but I'm just saying, if you don't, also, you'll just wanna really hurt men, people. But, you know, watch Die Hard. Just watch Die Hard. It's the movie that or, Predator, one of the Predator movies or Commando. It'll cure all that ails you. Oh, no, now I really want some vanilla bean ice cream. Damn you, Dave. Quote, "My heart is racing, I've thrown up, but I have this bad taste in my mouth," Pinto described, "so bitter, bad." She gave you arsenic laced candy, ma'am. She continued, "I leant on the water tank. I almost fell. I almost met God. I don't know why I'm like this, sis. I've been feeling bad all day." Because the woman told you that you were going to die and you ate the chocolate. Due to the patient's pre-existing conditions, which include gastritis and an ulcer, the family didn't initially suspect foul play, but grew suspicious after Pinto mentioned her encounter with the apparently clairvoyant woman. Quote, "Because I accepted the chocolate in the city center, I ate it. After that, I felt sick." The deceased had texted before her death. "At the time, it didn't even cross my mind. She was an old lady." The woman was subsequently accompanied by her cousin to Santa Casa de Misericordia Hospital, wherein her nose started bleeding upon arrival. Despite doctors' best efforts, the patient passed away the next day on August the 4th. It wasn't until 2 months later that the cause of her death was confirmed. Toxicology reports conducted on biosamples from the autopsy revealed that the deceased's body had been harboring high concentrations of pesticides, um, sulftep, and okay, these 2 words. So, high levels of pesticides. Quote, these substances are highly prevalent in cases of poisoning and intoxication in Brazil due to their easy access, despite being regulated by the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, and Supply, said Salmini Golhart, head of chemistry and toxicology laboratory that analyzed her samples. Unfortunately, the examination didn't confirm that the candy was the source of Pinto's poisoning, Global One reported. Yeah. So, I don't know. Nonetheless, the family reported the palm reader to authorities who are still trying to identify the suspect. Yeah, old palm reader in a city full of old palm readers. Sure, that's going to go over. This civil police have since registered her case as a death to be clarified and are waiting on forensic results so they confirm homicide speculations. Some authorities postulated that the fortune teller may have been hired to kill Cruz Pinto. However, the motive remains unclear. Quote, I don't see anyone having a reason to do this to her, but we don't know what's in anyone's heart, said the victim's other cousin, Lumienta Veloz. Quote, whether it was someone who ordered her to be killed or if the woman did it because she wanted to, only the police will find out. Pinto leaves behind a 9-year-old daughter with special needs. So that's terrible, but also really, really weird. And seems like you would kill off your customer base. I mean, you would want to be right once or twice, but then I don't know. This one's really weird. But also, if you have access to a bunch of unregulated chemicals, I don't know. In our final story of the evening, it's a feel-good story. I won't be doing it. Maybe if I get to be 101, I won't care. But 101-year-old skydiver may be the world's oldest. A skydiving business in Chicago is seeking to have a 104-year-old jumper recognized as the oldest person to go tandem skydiving. Skydive Chicago says Dorothy Hoffner, 104, took a tandem jump Sunday in Ottawa, Illinois, unofficially breaking the world record set by 103-year-old Swedish skydiver Ruth Laurison in 2000 and well, she it could be that too. It did not say she was fabulously wealthy in the article. In 2022, Skydive Chicago shared a video to Facebook showing Hoffner and her tandem partner being greeted in the landing zone by a cheering crowd. The business said it's submitting evidence of Hoffner's attempt to Guinness World Records for their official recognition. Hoffner previously went skydiving to celebrate turning 100. Yeah, let's see if I can play this.
That was so funny. It's like, all right, when you do your interview, be less Wilson.
All right, here we go, Dorothy.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough.
Yes.
Well, she looks excited.
Dorothy. Awesome job. That was amazing.
Aww.
Did we have fun?
I think so.
That's it. We need to get Dorothy together with that couple that goes on a cruise instead of living at an old folks' home. They need to have fun. We need to have the adventure of Dorothy and the cruise couple. And then that's, you know what? That's the true TLC. I want that. I want that series. I want it yesterday. Forget MILF Manor. I want the cruise, the old cruise couple, and skydiving Dorothy. I just that's the feel good television I want now, and possibly the guy that went on a slow high-speed chase in a golf cart with his dog while shirtless in Los Angeles. Those are the shows that I need this year. Come on, 2023, make it happen. And those are the stories that I have for you tonight. Please remember that we are starting a new trial tomorrow. It will be the Boy in the Box Florida trial. And I've decided to kind of switch up a little bit with the Take Care of Maya trial. So, what we're going to try to do is I will be looking at the daily summary of after we do the big mega Wednesday with more of the family members, I'll be looking at the summary of the oh gosh, the testimonies, and we'll go through and we'll pick out, not the deposition-y ones, but the more important ones, and we'll do that instead of doing all day long kind of trials watch, and then we'll do a longer stream on the weekends. I have decided this today as I was looking through things, so we have a better idea of what we are doing. But that is what we are doing tomorrow. So we have a brand new trial tomorrow. I did do a short little video of an article that I found on Court TV. So we have a little bit of an idea of what's going to be going on. It is a Florida man trial, so expect all the crazy because it's Florida man. And we know Florida man is all the crazy. But that is for tomorrow. We will have mornings with Mo and Fry, and then we will have Florida man trial. And hopefully, Baker will have some sort of verdict or something, and maybe he can pop on once in a while. Or we'll just help Baker pass the time for verdict watch. I have no idea. I think they're still waiting for a verdict in that case. But it has been a joy to spend some time with you and look at some fun news. And thank you very much for Reindeer for finding some of these stories because I have had some stuff to deal with today and have not been at my computer as much as I normally am. So I appreciate any of the weird stories you find around your location. I was gonna say my cell phone, my email in my about section on my page. So if you ever find a great story, a weird case, something that you want me to look at, just drop me an email and I will try to look it up. Have a great rest of your evening. I will see you all bright and early in the morning. Well, 9 in the morning, I'll be up at 4, but you guys don't have to get up at 4. And I will see you later. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye, guys.